Let's do it.
Congrats, man. Bantamweight winner now. How does that feel?
Good. And I just learned that I'm the first one that ever stopped Victor Henry. So I think that's a very good way to start my cruise at Bantamweight.
We know your style. You always like to finish the fights anyways, but did you actually not even know that he hadn't been finished prior to this?
No, I didn't even know. It's Aaron who told me that. We were talking, and he's like, you're the first guy to finish Henry. I'm like, man, he's 37, got so many fights. So, yeah, hats off to me.
Yeah. So I guess, can you just walk us through this fight week? Like, how did it all feel coming in at Bantamweight, doing the cut, all that different stuff?
Yeah, so I went to the PI after my last fight, and we looked at my frame, we looked at everything, and we realized I was one of the smallest featherweight, if not the smallest right now. So I embarked into a proper diet and a proper fix to fix this issue, and 35 actually felt better than butching 45, like eating pizza. I could eat pizza and do 45. Like when I was doing 55, I was eating burgers to make weight. And so now I feel like a true professional. Took me, it's my 15 fights in the UFC. I'm quite experienced in the UFC, but now I feel, like I was saying to my entourage, I didn't feel good this week. I fell at my place, and that was a good feeling.
That's great. I guess, like, what about the rehydration part? I think people are maybe worried about the durability, especially after the last fight.
Yeah.
Did all that feel good? Did the punches feel hard or anything like that?
I can't believe people are like, oh, durability. I hate some very big shots in my career, and I always got up, and I fucking think Jean Silva could knock out a horse. I think this guy is, he has special power. I remember being in the clinch with him, and I was like, okay, this guy was big. He's the guy that punched sense into me into going to 135. So, but he's very nice. I met him at the PI. He's a very cool guy, but fuck, he was big. I think it was like 185 when I saw him. I was like, I never weighed 160 in my life. So 35, that's my house now.
Yeah, could you notice, like, in there, you mentioned you were one of the smallest featherweights. You're probably going to be a bigger bantamweight now. So did you feel like, strength difference that you didn't feel at featherweight fights?
Yeah, but it's like a tool. If you don't use it properly, it can play against you. I overloaded on some shots because I'm less used to people having this much evasiveness. So he got into some shots and got into the body lock and swept me once. I swept him a couple times too. But yeah, so I need to be sure that not because I'm bigger than these guys who have a bigger frame that I'd unuse it or I use it improperly. So yeah, I'm going to learn a lot from this fight.
For sure. Bantamweight might be the best division in the entire sport. When you look at yourself in this weight class, I guess, how do you feel your path takes you after making a successful debut?
I won't drop names. I'm interested in anybody, but for now I'm having a little boy, and I'm going to take care of him in January, and after that I'll be back in the octagon around May. Whatever UFC have in store for me, I'm not going to chase name. There's a lot of very good fighters. There's some very good veterans as well. Like, I grown up watching Jose Aldo, and I see him fight, so that would be fun. But I'm in no position to call the King of Rio right now.
Congrats on the win and the baby boy.
Thank you.
First of all, this is kind of obvious, but I imagine now that you're at bantamweight, that is going to impact taking short notice fights.
Oh, absolutely. I'm not doing this. Even at featherweight, I stopped doing it for a while because UFC needs tons of preparation, and it needs to pay, not pay just in money, but pay in the like, I remember back then, I jumped in 2 weeks' notice for Topuria. No, 1 week notice to Topuria, and he didn't make weight. So that's big, but I won't jump in December or something. I'm out.
There's how you feel in the cage. There's also how you feel just in day-to-day life. So how do you feel now? Like, I imagine you've changed your diet, you've changed your lifestyle a fair bit.
It's good. It's necessary. So I'm not a big feeling guy. I just know what's best for me, and now I feel like I'm fighting for something more than myself to make sure that the boy and the wife have opportunities that I unfortunately didn't grow up with. So like, not fighting for yourself means less feelings and more duty.
Very admirable. And then we didn't quite hear it back here, but I think you got a little political in the cage. So was that, I'm not going to get into the politics of it, but was that something you had planned, or was that just...
It was just something funny. I thought about it when I was walking, because I was fighting, and in between rounds I hear the F Trudeau, and I'm like, okay, if Pierre Poilievre gets in, I'll bring the belt to him, and that's my deal with Canada, or else I'll move.
So you wouldn't bring it to Trudeau?
I don't think he's going to make a second term. Third term, I don't know which way he is, but I would. because I'm a nice guy now. I almost lost my Instagram because I say too much stupid stuff, and so now I'm politically correct. I love everybody, and yeah, I'm a better man.
Speaking of stupid stuff online, you showed off your tattoo, and then you picked out the one guy who found an issue with it, and
that was very funny.
You do have a semen on your back.
Yeah.
A pirate.
Yeah, exactly. That made me laugh, man. Like when I used my social media back then, we used to be promoting fights and be all that serious. But I truly believe that but it's what's certain is we're all gonna die one day, and I'm having fun with social media now. It's not something that weighs on me. It's something I used to release tension and have fun, and I like. People send each other stupid memes, and people from the MMA community are mad, like especially on Twitter. You guys are crazy. It's always like a weird name like Bones, Volkanov. It's always weird names, and they always say stupid shit, and they make me laugh. You can only laugh about it.
So with that in mind, what was your reaction to Derrick Lewis responding to Putin?
What he said? That? No?
Oh, he apparently is not a fan.
Of Putin? Well, I mean, it's gravy and fries, so it's not. People are trying to make it as if it is something exotic. Me, I like it. It's good. It's a Quebec dish, and it's like we have all ways of making it, but you cannot like it. It's okay.
He related it to something else. It started with a P, but I'm not going to.
He's a crazy man. Unfortunately, he didn't fight tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congrats, Charles. Obviously, in preparation for this fight, you know, you're balancing your weight, skill acquisition. How do you balance those two things with the move down to 135?
I realized I was sleeping a lot more, and because I was performing very good in training, but then I would have crashes. Like so, I need to. It's a change of diet means a change of energy, and now your body is using fat as energy instead of sugar, so you need to cut on this, cut on that. So yeah, the UFC PI I cannot say how much I owe a lot to them for this preparation in terms of strength, in terms of mental preparation. Maybe you guys don't know, but there's a sports psychologist named Mika, and I talked to him, and I'm like, I used to think like, oh, psychology, what do they know, you know? Like most of them are vegan badminton player. How are they going to help me be a UFC fighter? So, but talking to this guy, I was like, okay, maybe I went a little bit hard. They know their stuff. So the UFC PI made this victory possible. I owe a lot to them.
And is that something you talk about your diet with them, or is it other things like, you know, trying to, you know, build your performance with your mentality and stuff like that? Everything. They
take care of everything, your body, your mind, what you eat. When you go to the PI, you have access to everything, so they're quite incredible. And even when I was out back to Canada, back to Quebec, they reached out every week. I was training. How do you feel fatigue? Okay, we should increase this. Okay, we should decrease that. So it's a tool I never used, and I just did, and it showed in this good performance.
Obviously, you picked up wins at lightweight, at featherweight, and now moving down to 135. Are you asking yourself right now what took you so long to make this decision?
Immaturity, stupidity. I don't like when people are telling me to do stuff. I want to have my own experience. Like even if you tell me fire burns, I'll put my hand in it, and I'm like, oh shit, you're right. So I did a lot of stupid stuff, but now, like I said in the beginning of this interview, I don't feel good. I feel at the right place, and that's a fantastic feeling.
Victor Henry is a tough opponent to come down to at 135. It must feel good to get the win and get the finish over that guy. Like you said, first guy to finish him too.
Oh, that's amazing. When they gave me two names, and I was like, oh shit, they're very good guys. I won't mention the second one because I'll fight him eventually, but they sent me two names, and I was like, okay, I'll go with Henry. So I pick Henry, but Henry, you know, is on a streak. I think the only loss he has was Asuncao, which is very good fighter, Rafael Asuncao, very, very good 35er. And he fight those young wrestlers, and he always beat those guys. And he's a cardio machine, evasiveness. So I was like, okay, that's going to be a tough puzzle, but we managed it.
Did the fight play out exactly as you kind of envisioned?
Oh, no, frick, no. I thought I would be able to snipe him and to be able to use my range, but I sparred with guys who were bigger than him. I have two young kids at the gym. They're 20 years old. They're bantamweights as well, and they're going to be the next big thing, the Orini brothers, but they're much bigger. And I was like, oh, I'll train with bigger guys. So smaller guys, I'm not impressed by their performance, like George would say. But no, I don't think it was a good idea because he was ducking, and every time I was trying to attack, it was ducking and moving, and I was not used to that. So now I'll make sure I have proper 35ers, professional fighters who train with me for the next camp.
Congrats on the win, and congrats on becoming a dad.
Thank you very much. It's good. Oh, here we go.
Mine are more superficial questions, but how were your expectations for fans? Do you think you were able to provide quite a show for them tonight?
Sorry, you need to speak a little bit.
Sorry.
It's okay.
How do you think you provided to fans your show, your fight? How do you think that went tonight?
What I provided to the fans?
Yeah, during your fight for the fans, yeah.
Oh, I think they liked it. I threw my mouthpiece. I was so happy. The Canadian fans, like, when they say, Charles, you're going to be fighting in Edmonton, I'm like, oh my God, so exotic, so wow. I'm like, okay. And then we arrive here, and then Dana White came in yesterday, and he's like, that was the fastest selling event. And then normally when you start the card, like when I fight in Vegas and I'm in the prelims, there's nobody. And then I was in the prelims today, and there was plenty of people, energy, the crowd. A guy tried to give me a beer. I don't drink beer, sorry. So fans, Canadian fans are something else. And I hope they come back to Montreal one day. And I know that George was a big thing, but there's a couple of very good guys, me and Marc-Andre and Ayman. I think we could carry a proper card, but we'll see. We'll see what UFC says.
For sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.